Lonely, not when you hold me.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jordan with Introvert Aesthetics, and we're here today to talk about the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is basically a high fat, moderate protein, and a very low carb diet. So how does it work? Your body stops using glycogen and starts to use ketones as energy, which is basically an annoying way of saying your body stops using carbs as energy and uses fats as a fuel source. So a lot of people starting keto might ask, how hard is it? So on a scale, I would say it's about a medium, easy, medium, hard. I would say it's about a medium. And we're going to go touch into that later why. All right, so let's talk about some health benefits of using keto. So we have reduced inflammation in your body. We have clearer skin. We have more energy from using ketones rather than glucose. And ketones are a little bit more of a reliable source than carbs are. We have more mental clarity because your body's using ketones as well. And yeah, that's some of them. There's a lot of health benefits, but I'm only going to touch on a few of them. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of using keto. It's easier to eat out on keto. When I did keto, I could eat pretty much anywhere I want because most restaurants you're going to have higher fats, moderate protein, and higher carbs, which you can always cut out the carbs in some way or another or replace it with vegetables or whatever. As long as your carbs are really low and in net carbs, you'll be just fine. Another pro of being on keto will be that your food tastes better just because fats are rich. Fats are 9 calories per gram, whereas like carbs and proteins are 4 calories per gram. So you're looking at richer foods. Another pro would be that you're satisfied longer eating fats than you are with carbs. I know personally, I can eat a cup of rice and not even fucking blink at it. I could eat another cup of rice an hour later. Whereas you hand me a nice steak with some high fats and some moderate proteins, I'm gonna eat that and I'm be good for the most part of the day. Another pro is that you don't hold water, or it's hard to hold water really. So with glycogen sticks to water, sticks to water like crazy. So eat some bread, drink some water, and see how you feel. You're gonna bloat up and you're gonna be full just because water sticks to glycogen. Water doesn't stick to fat. Water doesn't stick to fat at all. So you're gonna look leaner, and I think that's where a lot of the fat burning effects that people talk about, or it's easier to lose fat being on keto. It's not easier to lose fat being on keto. It's just as easy to lose fat anywhere around if your diet's consistent, but you hold less water, so you look leaner faster, I guess. Another pro would be vegetables. I actually ate more vegetables being on keto than I ever have in my life. Believe it or not, on low carbs, because all your carbs come from net carbs. Well, net carbs is broccoli and shit. So I actually ate more carbs being on keto than I ever have. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I ate a salad for the first time in my fucking life like a year ago. So that was another big pro for me, at least, eating more vegetables. I know a lot of people, they can just sit there and snack all day. Boy, your boy ain't about that vegetable life. But I actually enjoyed it being on keto. Another good pro is cholesterol. You can actually lower your cholesterol being on keto. And that's a huge myth, A lot of people think when you go on keto, they're like, oh, your cholesterol goes through the roof because you're eating all of these fats, blah, blah, blah. Believe it or not, cholesterol is actually a derivative of carbohydrates. So if you have high carb intake, you're actually at risk. Whereas on keto, your cholesterol goes down. That's a pro, baby. That's a pro. All right, so now that we talked about all the benefits and all the pros of keto and hyped it up so much, let's talk about the cons of being on a ketogenic diet. A con, you have to increase your sodium intake, obviously, because your body doesn't hold water. So you have to do it yourself. So whatever regular amount of sodium you normally have, you have to pretty much double that in order to hold water. Holding water is really important. Yes, you want to look lean and dry all the time, but your body needs water. Your body's how much water? 75%? Exactly. You need water. Another con would be the keto flu. So a lot of people get sick and have struggles when they're switching from glucose to ketones. I personally didn't have any, so I can't really tell you what it's like. But a lot of people get sick and a lot of people have stomach problems and stuff. It normally lasts about 2 to 3 days to 2 weeks, but after that, it's smooth sailing if you can get through that. But I think that's one of the biggest cons of being on keto is actually switching from glucose to ketones. And a lot of people don't get it right, and I think that's why they have the keto flu as fast as they do. And I'm a break in the secrets, boy. I'm a break in the secrets of what percentages you need to have in order to avoid that keto flu or minimize that keto flu and have a successful ketogenic diet. Another con would be drinking water. I'm not a big water drinker, believe it or not. I have this gallon that I fucking walk around with, and I struggle to drink that on the daily. A lot of people, they can just drink water. So, I mean, that may not be a con for you, but you're pretty much going to have to double your water intake and double your sodium intake in order to have a successful ketogenic diet. So another con of being on keto is that you have to be strategic with what you eat, and then it also requires a lot of prepping or planning, unless you're just going to eat out 24/7 because, you balling like that. If you are, watch this video, give your boy some money. But no, seriously, it requires a lot of prep work. So if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. These foods are higher in fat, so you can't find a lot of snacks or anything like that that's going to fit your calories. But if you plan accordingly and meal prep, I like to meal prep for the day, but if you plan accordingly, you should go just fine. All right, so let's talk about, what are we talking about? Oh, let's talk about the macros of being in ketosis. These are the secrets. This is the key in order to have a successful ketogenic diet. So the macros for ketosis, 75% fats, 20% protein, and 5% carbs. A lot of people will not give you this information unless you buy their keto course or whatever. But I don't give a shit. So I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm going to let you know all the secrets. It's 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbohydrates. If you hit this, you will guaranteed be in ketosis if your calories are correct and if you're tracking accurately. Let's talk about another myth with the ketogenic diet. We talked about the cholesterol before. Let's hit another one right on the head. Boom, right on the head. So a lot of people think that you're just going around being a motherfucking carnivore, man, just eating all the meat in sight. Well, it may seem that way because your meat is a lot richer, and so you get to have good meats, but you don't eat meat all the time. Again, it's a high fat, moderate protein. So anyone that you see is doing keto and they're eating all this fucking meat, I guarantee you they're not hitting their calories and they're not in ketosis, because your proteins, if they hit over a certain amount, actually convert into carbohydrates through a process called gluconeogenesis, and you're not in ketosis if you have more carbs. So that's a myth, and I'm busting that shit, boy. All right, so now let's talk about if keto is sustainable or not. So keto is 100% sustainable if you throw in carbs here and there. I would personally throw in carbs here and there. So if you go on keto for like a month, I would have a day where you have carbs. That's fine. Keto is sustainable for life. You're good. You'll be just fine. A lot of people say it's not, but people like to run their mouths and start rumors and shit. But no one really knows what's going on. You can sustain keto. A lot of people don't, just because it takes a lot of prep work. And that's really why I didn't, because I'm lazy as fuck and I don't like keeping my shit prepped all the time. I'm a human. I make mistakes. I'm gonna get out of keto. So it is sustainable if you put in the work. Also, while we're touching on the sustainable topic, why should a diet be sustainable? You're literally talking about sustaining a diet for the rest of your life. Why should you ever hold a diet to such a high standard that you would never change? I don't even have the same toothbrush for life. I don't have the same car for life. I don't have the same shoes. I don't have the same, nothing. So why should you hold a diet to the same standard you hold your life? Keto is sustainable, but if you don't want to fucking do it, or you just want to get ripped for the summer, or you just trying to lose some weight, that's just fine, man. It's just fine. All right. That was it. We talked about keto, boys and girls. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. This is your boy Jordan, Introvert Aesthetics. Stay lifting, stay grubbing, and stay home.